College. The place where hopes and dreams are now in your hands. Where you find and reinvent yourself. The place where you meet the long life friends you'll hang out with and use your freedom thinking life is good. Until it's not. And you realize you're falling behind your physics class. You're missing 3 assignments in your English class. And the school is asking you to pay the rest of your $3K balance or else you won't be able to apply for classes next semester.
I'm getting cooked.
Now, if you're in high school and you're thinking about college, I'm not saying this just to scare you, but this is kind of the reality of what college life is like if you're not prepared. Now, the way to be prepared is to know and understand the route that you want to take between community college and university. You might be asking what the difference between university and community is. Well, community offers 1 to 2 year associate degrees and or certificates, while university usually offers 4-year bachelor's, 6-year master's, and 8-year PhDs. Both different paths that can help you reach your goal no matter what. Let's talk bread. It's probably one of the biggest deciding factors when choosing between community college and university. Because, I mean, if we're being honest, bro, who gonna pass up the opportunity to go to 4 years of a big university, all your friends, you feel me, the college experience, to driving to your local community college, which is high school 2.0. Anyway, community college is by far more affordable than university. Transportation wise, tuition costs, you'll probably be spending anywhere between 2 to 6K per semester. And for many people, that's probably the best option for their pockets. Now, on the other hand, in-state universities can range anywhere between 9 to 15K per semester, and out-of-state can range up to 30 bands per semester.
Huh?
That's excluding the dormant cost, which is an extra 10 bands for the year.
We're flying to Philadelphia! Oh, hell no!
Now, if you have scholarships, you're using financial aid, taking loans, you can reduce that cost by a lot. Sometimes even go for free. Although that's all contingent on how well you did in high school with your academics and or your ability to play sports at a high level, which if you're watching this video, the chances are you're not very good.
Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Now, community college by far has the most flexibility. You can take classes at night, you can take them on the weekend, you can even take them online, which is great for some, especially if you're working or you have other responsibilities. Compared to being at university where being a full-time student and trying to have decent hours at a job is damn near impossible. Additionally, community colleges also have smaller class sizes compared to the lecture halls at universities with 100 plus people, which makes it easier to get help and connect with your peers. I'm not gonna lie, nothing's gonna beat the university experience. My freshman year was my best year, and it'll also be your best year if that's the route that you decide to go to. From the dorms, to the clubs, to the sports, to the parties, and to the freedom, the experience just isn't something you can replicate anywhere else. Just remember to wrap it up if you plan on having a relationship.
What do you mean by that?
You meet some of the wackiest characters at university your freshman year because there's just so many different types of people. Like, there are dead people who go their first semester just for the fun of it. Like, they had no intention on finishing their degree. They was just there to be there. And I've seen a lot. Like, you would think because we're in college, right? Everyone's a little bit older now. Like, we'd have some decorum. That was not the case. So we had these dorms for the freshmen exclusively. It was called Balsam and Spruce. Now, Spruce was that badass little cousin that never wanted to listen, while Balsam was the more relaxed cousin that, was focused on their studies and knew how to have fun at the side. What I mean by that is, if you lived in Spruce, you were a degenerate. If you saw the way their bathrooms looked, not even just their bathrooms, their halls, everything about Spruce was nasty. They was destroying the furniture messing up the exit signs. They was just doing anything. It was children. It got so bad to a point they tried to take it to Balsam, and we was not messing with that. We even had like dorm wars. It was some childish petty shit. It was kind of funny though, where people from each side, if they caught you lacking in the wrong like dorm, they would record you and just like start jumping you. Like they wouldn't actually like beat you up, but if you had a tank top on, it was gone. White tee, gone. Black tee, gone. Whatever you had on, it was gone. And that's just a glimpse of what it was like living on the dorms. Like I said, first 2 weeks, probably gonna be like some of the best times of your life. When I walked on that campus soil, the touch of freedom, it was invigorating. I could do whatever I wanted at that point. I could go to sleep whenever I wanted. I didn't have to be in my dorm at whatever time. And I was chilling with my people. It was like the first 2 weeks, freshman year, amazing. Some of the best times of my life. Until the workload started to get a little too realistic for my liking. Mind you, like I said in a previous video, I graduated during the COVID year. So 90% of my senior year was on a computer. My brain wasn't ready for that college life. I was still fried in my head, and I wasn't prepared for the workload, nor was I prepared for the discipline I needed to study engineering. But at the time, I didn't really care. I was always like a smart student, so I felt like I had it in the bag, and I really didn't because I wasn't putting enough discipline on myself to complete my work and to focus on my studies. Can you really blame me though? I feel like a lot of people watching this might be able to relate to what I have to say right now. All of my life growing up, I've been kind of sheltered in the sense of like, I grew up with a single Haitian parent. If you know anything about Haitian parents, I'm a first generation. They bring Haiti to America. And what that means is whatever culture, standards, and rules they have over there, they try to implement it in the household here, which at times can be useful, but a lot of the time it's not, because we're not living in the same world, and it can be detrimental to our social skills and development. Now, the reason I'm bringing it up is because as a kid, I didn't really get to do a lot of things. Like, I was able to go to my friend's house. I didn't do sleepovers. Parties was like a foreign concept to me. I couldn't even stay out the crib past 11 sometimes until I turned like maybe 16, 17. And even then, my mom was still on my ass. So best believe, once I got on campus, I was taking advantage of everything. Me and my roommate, we wasn't going to sleep. We was out in the halls, we was walking around campus, doing God knows what. So once you get a taste of freedom, especially in my situation, you start to veer off into things you wouldn't normally do, like drinking. When I tell you, we was drinking. It got so bad to a point where every weekend, me and my roommate would go to this local liquor store that didn't ID, mind you, and we was getting Henny in the beginning. Henny evolved to tequila, right? So you get in the Don, Patron. That evolved to the Espolon. If you know anything about Espolon, you look at the label. That's how they gonna have you at the end of the night if you keep drinking.
Man, I'm dead.
If I was to rate my experience, I'd give it a 8 out of 10. At my community college, nothing really crazy happened. Like I said, it was kind of just go to class and go home or go to work. So I didn't really interact with anybody because I didn't need to. And that was fine by me because I'm not here to make friends, bro. I'm trying to get my degree and bounce.
Okay.
When I went to community college, I was able to work many hours to stay afloat, pay for my car note, pay for whatever bills I had, and also still be a student. Now, it wasn't easy, for sure. I had to do homework sometimes while I was at work, trying not to get caught and all that. But it's one of those things where it's like, you gotta do what you gotta do. There would be times when I was working at Home Depot And like I used to work at like the paint desk. If anyone knows about the paint desk, it's like right in the center of most Home Depots. So all the customers, it's very high traffic. Customers ask you questions that have nothing to do with paint, just asking you stuff. You feel me? So I would have a 4-hour shift, and I'm standing on my feet the whole time. Sometimes that whole shift, I got the computer screen right here. All I'm doing is working on my math problems. And then a customer would come up and then start giving me a lecture about how school is important and staying in school. It's like, look at what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get my shit done, but you keep talking to me. Now, in my last video, I talked a lot about balance, which is something you're gonna need regardless, whether you're at university or at community college. You might need it a little bit more at university because there's a lot more distractions. But the main point is, if you decide to work while you're a student, you have to set aside time to get that work done, because community college is still college. You can flunk out and you're gonna be wasting your money and you're gonna be sick. So if that means cutting in a little bit of time at work to get some worksheets done, you don't have to do it. I mean, I did it. I got my associates.
Okay.
My experiences at community, I'd give it 7 out of 10. Not too bad. Now, the big question is, all right, what do I do? Like, do I go to community? Do I go to university? Like, what's up? When choosing which path is the better path for you, you have to look at your situation and your intentions behind going to college. If you aren't too sure about what you're trying to major in, but you have to kind of go to school to appease your parents, I'd say just go to your local CC. Save that bread. Because when you go to university and you're undecided for like the first year and a half, you're going to be wasting money and time. So I'd rather you just do gen ed classes at a community college and call it a day. Now, if you have a bunch of scholarships, money to spend, and you know what you're doing, you're taking yourself seriously, then I'd say university is worth it. But whether you choose to go to university solely because of the experience, or you choose to go to community college because you feel like that's your only option, I say take the opportunity to find yourself, because college gives you a glimpse of what real life is like, and it helps you develop skills and memories that you'll never forget. I remember in high school, they gave out this scholarship called John Abigail Adams or something. Like if you did well enough on your MCAS, like you would get a scholarship for any state school in our state. And that was one scholarship I had, because I may or may not have forgotten to sign up for, you know, the other scholarships that the high school was providing, and I suffered from that a little bit. Because going into college, I'm thinking I'm smooth. Yeah, I got a little bit of bread saved up. I'm working at Home Depot. I think I got it. And I got this one scholarship that's supposed to help me, you know, pay for shit. And then I saw that bill, and I was in shock. The school I went to took all of my money. I had nothing left. If you're going to university, you gotta be wary of the distractions that's gonna be on campus, whether it's drinking, having relations, clubs, sports, and any other extracurricular activities. Try to keep your focus on your studies and don't veer too much off, or else you're gonna lose yourself and waste bread.
Yeah, I like money though.
But community was a different experience in itself. If you decide to go the community college route, just know at times you'll feel like you're kind of on your own, which might be the case. There's not that much community, not many events, not a lot of chances to really get to know like your peers and people you're going to be studying with. It's kind of just go in, get out. Which is not a bad thing. I mean, like, a lot of people like to live like that. So it's up to you whether or not that's the route you want to take. If you made it to the end, I appreciate you for tuning in. It's the second video done. Share with your peoples, like, subscribe, and any feedback you got for me, leave it in the comments, anything you liked about the video, and tune in for what I have coming next, because I'm excited about this new release.